Hey there, uh, vinyl community. Say I thought we'd try talking a little bit about. Well, I really didn't have any intention of even making a video today, but while I was working, um, Nathaniel plays these records sometimes during the day. He'll play all kind of stuff. He's played Autechre and usually it's pretty interesting music. He's got a pretty good view on music. Always playing something challenging. Today he played Napalm Death, which I've heard before. It's not really my thing, but I've had friends who were big fans, and I guess I never really uh, paid too close of attention, although not dismissive either. But it really struck me when he was playing it, and I intentionally listened to it, uh, mainly because it was Nate playing it, and I just wanted to hear that. And but it really struck me what an amazing sound um, that Napalm Death made, and that there was a lot more, going on there than meets the eye. Even if it's not really your thing, you can certainly acknowledge the talent involved in it. And so, yeah, I allowed myself to listen to it. It made me think about noise and about guitar and drone and how all those things, you know, kind of fit together. And for instance, if you had told me, I pulled out some. If you had told me, in the '90s, I remember when like albums like this and albums like this, uh, if these would remain so listenable in 2024, I probably wouldn't have thought so. Here's another one more recent. I don't know if you'd call this. I'm not sure you'd call this shoegaze or if you'd call this space rock. It all kind of converges together. The point is that kind of guitar-based sound, walls of sound, and what that can do. And I bought an album about a year ago. It was shortly after listening to Stunt Rock Confusion's live stream, and he had played this record, Harmony of Spheres. And this is on a pretty cool label. This is on Drunken Records. It's a beautiful package, 3 album set. Comes in this beautiful box. Um, and Stunty played it, and it was good, and it struck me as good. I think it might have even went on my wanted list. But it was shortly thereafter I walked into one of my favorite local street corner music, and there the record is sitting on the wall for like $10, $12, whatever it was. And so immediately I grabbed it, and the guy who works there, he said, "Oh, you're gonna love that. That's really good," because he kind of knows what kind of music I like, and so I had no doubt. And of course, I got it home, and I did love it. It's great, and um, but it fit into this whole idea of sound and noise and drone, and I don't know whether your palate matures to like that. And my roots in it kind of I come from, I like, you know, I always liked Sonic Youth and, and, uh, and these albums always meant a lot to me. And, and noise was always a part of that. Drone, noise, sound structure, texture, but all guitar orientated. I think, I usually, when I think of those sounds, I think of like electronic music usually, because it builds sound and, and texture in that way. But so does Harmony of Spheres, and so does Napalm Death. And it's interesting to see it's interesting for me to see that connection there. And anyone who grew up with, or matured in their musical taste with Sonic Youth, or even Shoegaze, will appreciate the sound of the guitar and what can be done with it, outside the context of dinosaur riffs and big. Nothing wrong with that, but I just mean taking that instrument and doing things with it that that move the music forward and into the avant-garde, and then how that can affect music in the future. And here's a good Sonic Youth. So I noticed that on a record store day, this got a reissue. This is like a Sonic Youth. You'd never think of Sonic Youth as having like a best of collection. Never wanted them to have a best of collection because they were just too cool for that, But in the 90s, they did release. No, it wasn't in the 90s. It was 2018. So pandemic time, I guess. But I think the CD for this came out. I actually think it came out at. And don't ever shop at Starbucks, please. But I think it's originally came out on CD at Starbucks as an exclusive. I think the band took a little heat for it. In fact, if you notice, what's that he's drinking right there? This Wall Street broker in his business suit, drinking his Starbucks coffee, and he's listening to, Sonic Youth, and he's thinking about how capitalism is going to destroy the world. You think is that what he's doing right there? That's what I think he's doing. Anyway, this is kind of like a best of Sonic Youth. It does have a track. I've always kept it because it does have Slow Revolution, which isn't on anything else, and it's a pretty cool song. And the truth is, it's kind of fun to hear all these songs put together in one place, and then it has like other musicians and actors and stuff pick their best favorite Sonic Youth songs. Fun collection. Little side note. But anyway, back to Harmoniosphere. And how this record ties into all that is really taking it. So I guess what I'm suggesting is that if you like Napalm Death, and if you like Sonic Youth, and if you like Shoegaze, that this is a record that may be very, very appealing to you. And some of the names, I remember when I bought it at the time, I was really attracted. What clinched it for me is Flying Saucer Attack is on here, and spectacular. And they're known for their kind of like long drones of sound, walls of sound and texture. Really amazing stuff. But all of these tracks on here are well. Roy Montgomery, absolutely amazing. Bardo Pond, the very first track on here is unbelievable. And this is something that can still be. I remember when Stunty played it for us, he said, I think you could still get a copy of this for a fairly good price. And I think that's still the case. So if you want to take kind of your noise collection, if you want to take that to kind of the next step, the next level, and you're a fan of Sonic Youth, or you're a fan of Shoegaze, or even if you're kind of one of those metal fans that hears metal from from that from that death metal point of view of like a wall of noise and sound, a drone almost. And my friends who like that stuff say that that's kind of how they almost listen to it like symphonically. And I think that this would be a record that anyone who fits into fans of those categories is going to really enjoy. And got it on in the background a little bit just to give you a little sample of it, a little taste of it. There's a lot to find here. It's contemplative, but it's not boring, and it requires your attention. Um, I think more so, and for me. What's great about hearing this is, I hear a lot of ambient music, and sometimes I'm getting to the point where I'm a little leery of ambient music because I don't want the music to be too easy. I don't want you know things can be made ambient to the point of becoming like Yanni, and then it's just you know um, you need some tension. That's something I've heard Stunty make this point again, that he wants tension in the music, and I absolutely agree with that. Without that, you know, um, it can just turn into it's boring. Even if it's initially kind of ear candy, um, it needs something to. You need layers to pull apart so that the music doesn't just become nothingness. And there's no fear of that on this record. This is just a great. Here, I can show it to you. I haven't seen too many people show it, maybe because its time has kind of come and gone. But if that's true, then this is kind of for people who are just starting to investigate noise and sound, especially in relation to. Came with three nice LPs, and I was amazed at the price that this went for. And then it has like this really nice booklet comes with it, and it's got some writing about the recordings, about the bands. It gives you a full description of who's here. I mean, it really takes the project seriously, and talking about music and guitar orientated drone and noise from a really serious point of view. And yeah, it's a beautiful release. I didn't, before I made this, I didn't go look on Discogs, but I suspect that there are copies available and that you can track it down. I didn't have to do that. Like I say, it just, sometimes all the pieces come together. You ever do that? You hear about the record. I've had this happen to me again and again. I hear about some record, and the next day I walk into a record store, and a record I've never seen before is there on the wall, or right there waiting for me. And that's kind of how this felt. I heard about it. I believe the way it went is, I think it was a Friday, Stunty's Friday night stream, and then I think on Saturday or Sunday I walk into the record store, and this is on the wall, which was just cool. I love making those connections. Sometimes it makes you wonder if the universe isn't listening. Sometimes bringing you the things that you need. Anyway, keep it, I hope, brief. I don't know how long I've been yammering on for, but check it out if you're a Shoegaze fan or a metal fan or a Sonic Youth fan. I think that Harmony of Spheres will be an album that you'll be glad you have, and that you will for years peel off pieces of it and discover the magic in the music. So anyway, hope everyone's well. Have a good night. Thanks.